Forspoken will be a PS5 exclusive for 2 years after it launches. According to the same trailer from Sony that confirmed FF16's 6-month exclusivity period, Forspoken will be exclusive to the PS5 for 2 years after it launches on January 24. This means that it will be available on other console platforms on January 24, 2025. However, you don't have to worry too much if you don't have a PS5. Forspoken will be available on the PC at launch as well, which is to say that this is Sony's way of blocking Forspoken from the Xbox Series S/X. Interestingly enough, it's still unclear if Final Fantasy XVI will come to the Xbox Series S/X as well. Although Final Fantasy XV was available on the Xbox One at launch in 2016, all of the Final Fantasy games released since have been exclusive to the PlayStation platform. Case in point, Final Fantasy VII Remake is available exclusively on the PS4. Its PS5 upgrade, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Intergrade, took 6 months to go from Sony's flagship console to the PC. The uber-popular MMORPG, Final Fantasy XIV, is also not available on Xbox consoles, but Phil Spencer did mention that he's working on making the Xbox port happen. Forspoken story. The basis of Forspoken's narrative might seem familiar to some, as it revolves around a character from a modern-day setting getting transported to a fantasy world. This is often referred to as an isekai, which is a popular genre in Japan within video games, anime, and manga. The plot centers around someone suddenly appearing in another world. In the game's story trailer, we hear dialogue where Frey Holland is blown away by the sudden powers she develops, with her referencing how she can move stuff with her mind and use magic. She's even further amazed by the presence of a dragon, so we can expect that the game will feature plenty of dialogue where the main character is reacting to the world alongside the player. Isekai often revolve around themes of redemption and growth, pushing the main character to shift their perspective on the value of life by giving them a new one to live. This is evident in the game's story trailer, as we see Frey bullied in an alley as she's punched in the stomach and falls to the ground. She makes a wish on top of a giant hotel sign after she speaks to her cat about how they're going to escape the city. Frey wishes for clean air, bright skies, and no more fights. And suddenly, she's transported into a mysterious fantasy realm filled with magic and monsters. By giving Frey a sympathetic backstory, it's easier for players to get absorbed in her escapist power fantasy. She goes from a bullied nobody in an overpacked city to a powerful magician that has the fate of the world resting on her shoulders. Considering this trope is pretty common, Forspoken's narrative needs to shine most in its execution. We can anticipate the game's main themes, so it's up to the script and performances to carry the weight of the story. Forspoken gameplay details. What we've seen so far of Forspoken showcases how Frey will be a particularly athletic hero. The main character has a skill known as magic parkour, which allows her to run fast, leap great distances, and use the environment to swing across gaps and climb vertical inclines. The latest look at the upcoming adventure offered insight into how magic is at the center of everything in Forspoken, from combat to exploration. Frey is outfitted with a variety of magical spells and combat styles that you can use and adapt depending on your preferred style of play. From long-distance powers to close-range spells, there's all manner of magical attacks to experiment with. With RPG elements such as crafting and upgrades, you can improve a variety of Frey's skills. Gear can also be equipped such as necklaces and capes to improve stats. In order to bring together realism with fantasy, Frey can use shards to paint patterns on her nails to make spellcasting more powerful. In our hands-on preview with Forspoken, we got the chance to try out some of the layered spells in Frey's arsenal. Forspoken release date. Forspoken is now officially be releasing on January 24, 2023. The move to 2023 marks the second time Forspoken has been delayed after it was initially pushed back from its original May launch date to October 2022. Luminous Productions confirmed the new release date on Twitter, citing that the reason for the second delay is a result of a strategic decision after discussions with its key partners. The studio did, however, confirm all of the game elements are now complete, and it's now in its final polishing phase. In terms of platforms, Sony has the exclusive on the console front, so it won't be coming to either Xbox One or the Nintendo Switch. A video from Sony that highlighted Forspoken among other upcoming PS5 games includes this in the fine print, in development for PS5. Also available on PC. Not available on other consoles until at least 24 months after release date.